DJ Khaled. Convict music. We the best. Yeah. We taking over. Listen.
Spread out with it. South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, on the North Carolina, Philadelphia, Virginia. From down in Miami, where it warm in the winter. On up to Minnesota, where it storm in the winter. Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Memphis, 10, holla at me. B&H-Town, Southside, Cloverland, Daddy, I'm the man out in Dallas. Better ass Cali. Catman and Cali with my eyes open valley. Blowing and spinning, going down Vinny. Drop 6, 4, 3, wheel hit switching. Red light stop, make it drop for the...
My first NBA game. Can't believe it's finally here. You work your entire life for something, and then when it's right in front of you, it's almost hard to believe. But I'm ready. And now it's time for me to show everybody I belong and do my best to represent Harlem.
And we've been waiting for this day for a long time. It's opening day in the NBA. Thanks, everyone, for joining us here in the start of a new season. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg with Doris.
But I hope he's able to take a moment to just enjoy this accomplishment. Well said.
And I hope so, too. I mean, as a player, you want to stay even-keeled, but it's almost impossible. I mean, there's just so much that you've gone through to reach this point. It has to be emotional.
On the court for Indiana, Freak, he's in at the point. Mahimi is out there with Hill. Then there's C.J. Miles. And it's Stuckey in at the 2. The thing about DeMar DeRozan, he came into the league fairly unpolished. Struggled to handle the ball, created in his own shot, and but sometimes he would create for others too. But he's settled down. You can see the growth.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. You could see the physical talent was there in terms of him playing the 2. The question was, could he make the commitment mentally to become a great player? Well, from what he's done the last few years, I would have to say he's definitely been able to do that.
Out to the right wing. Here's Freak, and he hits the jump shot. Freak with his first bucket in the NBA. What a feeling he's got to have right now. And Joseph kicks the foul. 1:21 left in the first. To the inside. And it's Biyombo with the jam.
You know, he might be small for a center, but it doesn't really matter because he can jump out of the building.
Indiana trailing here. To the paint. And it's out of bounds. The Raptors will take it the other way.
And here's a look at the stats for Stuckey. Last season's performance for him averaged about 12 points a game, 3 assists and 3 rebounds. And the numbers won't wow you, but I like the effort he brings to the table each and every night.
Yeah, great hustle, does all the little things. Just a good complimentary guy to have on your team.
The Raptors making a switch here. Ross is checked in. 56 seconds left in the first quarter. He kicks to Carroll. Shoots from the line. No good. So the Pacers will take it the other way. Stuckey dishes to Freak. The 3. It's hauled in by the Raptors. One-on-one here. Here's Ross. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. That's on Rodney Stuckey. Terrence Ross, an explosive young player who can really put on a show. Clark, jaw-dropping, highlight reel dunks are his specialty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tremendous athlete, great bounce and elevation and creativity. Won the slam dunk contest
now,
as a rookie.
2 shots. 2 shots.
The first free throw is good.
And back to Terrence Ross. Sometimes the show he puts on is of the scoring variety. He threw in 51 against the Clippers 2 seasons ago. Great lift and form on his shot.
And so he's able to get 1 of 2.
You know, one thing I think about with Terrence Ross is he can be all or nothing. His game moves up and down like a roller coaster or an echocardiogram. I mean, he's up, he's way up, and he's down. Look out below.
Well, you have to like their work on the boards, Kevin, particularly here to start the game.
Yeah, I like the way they're setting the tone. Really playing with a lot of energy here at the start.
And it doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim.
Well, earlier we sat down with Freak and asked him about playing in his first NBA game. You know, Clark, you don't see that kind of perspective for most rookies, do you?
You really don't, Kevin. I mean, I really like his approach to the game. What remains to be seen, though, is will that translate to...
For Jonas Valanciunas, Damari Carroll comes in for Patrick Patterson. Powell, he's checked in for Terrence Ross. And it's DeRozan in for Corey Joseph. The Pacers also changing it up. Mahimi's checked in for Turner. Hill comes in for Allen. And Freak subbed in for Ellis. On the court for Indiana, Freak in at 2-guard. Paul George is out there with Solomon Hill. Then it's George Hill. And it's Mahimi in at the 5 down low. Hill against Lowry. Hill pulls it in. Hill's got his 5th rebound in this one.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
Toronto's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second.
You know, for the Pacers last season, with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
Pacers trail by 4. Pick up by Hill. George with the ball. Here's Freak. The shot's good on the assist by George. 8 points for Freak. And here we see the debut of Freak, the kid from Harlem. His first time on an NBA floor. And Clark, it's a moment that he's worked very hard to achieve, and his family has got to be proud.
Extremely so, Kevin. It's been a long journey for him, but every level along the way, he's found success. High school phenom, playing for a college championship. I wouldn't bet against this kid on anything when it comes to basketball.
Lowry drawing the double team. That's tipped. Here's DeRozan. Pass to Powell. Fires the 3. Rebound by Mahinmi.
That's some more rugged play from them inside. They have a decent edge in rebounds thus far.
And all that hard work on the boards needs to continue because that potentially may swing the game.
And it's Freak missing. Toronto trailing. Outside Lowry. The feed to DeRozan. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. DeRozan's got 13.
And that gets him going here in the second after hitting 2 from long range in that first.
George passes to Hill. Indiana moving the ball around. Hill sets the screen for Hill. It's back to Hill and stolen by Biyombo.
And this should be the last possession of the quarter.
Exactly. I'm right with you there, Greg. I mean, no need to give the ball back before the end of the quarter. To make sure you get the last shot here.
No problems knocking that one down. Powell's got the lead up to 5 now for the Raptors. Here's George. Launches it. No good.
You got to be careful, though. There's a real balancing act. You can't let your ego try to run your offense. You could see he really wanted to answer that made 3 with one of his own.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. A fantastic. Corey Joseph is out there with DeRozan. Then it's Damari Carroll. Then there's Patrick Patterson. And it's Biyombo at the pivot spot manning the middle. That's the 5 out there for the Raptors. And so it's Toronto winning this one. Some good competition, but the hometown advantage and their ability to stay focused, I think, Clark, made the difference.
Well, you know, at this stage, you've got to defend your home floor, and they did that.
And that'll do it for the
2K Sports postgame show.
Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, along with Shaq and Kenny the Jet. DeMar DeRozan, he had just an outstanding fourth-quarter performance. He really had the fire lit under him, and down the stretch, really having a huge impact on the outcome of this game.
He was up to every single challenge he faced tonight. He was in such control of the ball game. His showcase of his skill set was awesome.
Well, DeRozan is capable of just going off on any night. You know, his leadership, though, that sets him apart right there. DeMar leads by example, and his team feeds off that good energy.
And that's it for our broadcast here tonight. But we're just getting started on a new season in the NBA. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire team.
LeBron James. What more can you say about the guy that hasn't already been said? He can play anywhere on the court, and he gets it done on both ends like nobody else in the league. If we can't slow him down, this game could get out of hand real quick. It's going to be one of the biggest tests of the season for me, that's for sure. Time to step up.
Oh, say does that.
We've got NBA basketball in store for you here at Quicken Loans Arena in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. It's the home of the Cavs, live on TV. And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. Well, you go back last season, the Cavs had a very slow start to the year. Not surprising. They had a lot of new faces and people they were bringing together. Clark, it didn't look like the powerhouse they would end up being, as we saw.
Well, you know, they were kind of fumbling and bumbling around in the 5th and 6th spots in the East for the first half of the season. Made some changes, though, through trade, and that got them going, I think.
Stuckey against Irving. Here's Freak. Chance there to take the lead, missing. The Cavaliers leading. Outside jumper. Outside Irving. Inside Dellavedova. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Almost no chance of that shot going in.
Yeah, there were a lot of other places he could have gone with the basketball instead of forcing that shot up.
And it's out of bounds. The Cavaliers able to retain possession here. It's a three-point game. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. The Cavaliers have looked good at the line tonight. They're perfect in 4 attempts.
And as a group, they shot 75% from the line last season.
And the first one drops. Well, the Pacers, despite all their injuries from last season, were right in the playoff hunt until the very end. Had a chance, in fact, GA, on the last day to sneak in, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, they needed a Brooklyn loss to go along with them winning that last game. Ultimately, though, it wasn't in the cards for them, and they ended a game out of the postseason.
Stuckey drives inside. Here's Freak. Cavaliers with the rebound. They're coming off that win against Philadelphia.
And the way they attacked the basket in that game was unreal. I mean, after a while, the defenders seemed to just wave the white flag.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's what will happen when a team continues to attack the basket and come away with layups. The defense tends to get demoralized and deflated. And, you know, the Pacers had made the playoffs in each of the last 4 seasons prior to last year's miss. Hard for a team that was coming off of back-to-back conference finals appearances to stomach that swing of things on the boards.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game.
And here we go. Shumpert heading to the hoop.
They better not. I mean, they've got to pad their lead anytime an opportunity presents itself, and that was a golden, really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
And indeed, they're going to look at it again. They need to be certain he beat the buzzer.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, you know, some might say, hey, can't we just skip the replay this time around? But you just never know.
Yeah, anything can happen. I mean, they want to get the call right, and the league is taking steps to speed the process with the Replay Review Center in Secaucus queuing up the footage for the officials.
Well, the ruling is in, and the call stands. No basket, so no change, Clark, and the scoreboard as we end the quarter.
Smart decision to review the shot. That was indeed very close to being legitimate.
The offense coming free and easy as we wrap up the first quarter. Cavaliers on top. They lead by 9. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. And we got a chance to hear from LeBron James about the hard work and preparation he brings into every game. I think you'd have to say the preparation really shows on the court in his play, and rarely does he look surprised out there or caught off guard.
And Kevin, that's really just the mark of a total pro.
For Tristan Thompson. Shumpert comes in for J.R. Smith. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Kyrie Irving. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Mahimi's checked in for Hill. Turner comes in for Allen. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Ellis. And Freak subbed in for Hill. LeBron and Love are the talented pair at the forward position. Amon Shumpert is out there with Matthew Dellavedova. And it's Fry in at center. That's the 5 for Cleveland right now. Marked down low that time, and he got the 3-second vote. Mozgov, he's checked in for Kevin Love. The Pacers also with a sub. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Paul George. And here in the second quarter of action as we approach 4 minutes played. Here's Dellavedova. He kicks it to Shumpert to the inside. Here's Mozgov. Here's Dellavedova. Once again off the mark by Cleveland.
I'll tell you what, folks. I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
And a wide open look for Freak. Basket is good. The assist from Stuckey. Freak's got 5 points so far. Outside Shumpert. He feeds it to Dellavedova. Right at the free throw line. Baseline jumper. Mozgov's shot is off.
And Rodney Stuckey, a combo guard out of Eastern Washington, played a big role for the Pacers a season ago.
Miles, that's good.
A great second quarter here after a difficult first. I'd say they knocked the rust off. Sometimes it takes a little while before you get the blood flowing and you find your rhythm.
Pass to Fry. The dunk and the foul, a powerhouse move, and he's got a chance for one more at the line. It's going to be on Miles Turner.
And guys, this game won't be close for long if they keep giving up dunks. Like that.
No, it won't, G.A. You're right. A glaring error defensively and letting him get all the way to the basket that time.
But it's only 2 points. I mean, it was flashy, no doubt, but still, it only counts for 2. 2 is all.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
You know, the Pacers ended up in 4th place in the Central Division last year, guys, and that's not quite what they were used to after taking the division the previous 2 years and getting to the Eastern Conference Finals in the playoffs.
Looking at last year with the Pacers, with Paul George out, the Pacers knew it would be tough to win the Central again, and they still played decently, though, going 8-8 in divisional games.
And the Pacers played admirably. I mean, the division just got a lot tougher. If the Pacers bounce back, you could easily see 4 of the Central Division members making the playoffs in the near future.
And here is Stuckey. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Shot's good by Turner. There's 48 seconds left in the first half of the game. Outside jumper. Mozgov sets a screen for Shumpert. And another miss by Cleveland. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
So after making the first, he goes 1 for 2. Well, we know that Mozgov started last season with the Nuggets and then was traded to Cleveland midway through the season.
And what an impact he made on the Cleveland Cavaliers, particularly at the defensive end. His size and his activity really helped the Cavs become outstanding at the defensive end.
The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way. And the Pacers lead by 5. James up top. He had 16 points in the win against Philadelphia.
Yeah, but I thought the shot blocking was the real story. I mean, he was just everywhere. It got hard to keep track of all his rejections.
Here's Freak. And the shot.
What a life, eh, Freak? One.
Tell you about Vic. He has his bad rap. It's not, and I understand some of his judgments might shadow his actual character. He's not that at all. Man, Vic, let me tell you. Steph Curry and the Warriors next game. I've been looking forward to this for a while now. You know they'll be running and gunning. And Steph's gonna do 2 or 3 things that make you want to stop and stare. But we can't let that distract us. Because if we lose focus for even a second, they'll be up 20. So maybe it's up to me to put on a little show of my own.
Nothing goes together like the Pacers and Indiana as we get ready for an interconference contest here in Indianapolis. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday night edition of the NBA and all its great action on 2K Sports. With Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Take a look at the Warriors winning their last... Last 3 games. They'd like to make that. Golden State's gone 1-2 from long range in the first quarter. Now let's find out what head coach Steve Kerr had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
For them to be successful, Kevin, he said they have to act like, and I quote, a swarm of angry bees every time the ball gets in the post. If they don't collapse on their post threats, he knows they're in for a long game. Guys?
Always great to hear from you, Doris. Hill. The shot will not go. And Golden State will come the other way. They're coming off that win against the Nets.
And the way they attacked the basket in that game was unreal. I mean, after a while, the defenders seemed to just wave the white flag.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's what will happen when the team continues to attack the basket and come away with layups. The defense tends to get demoralized and deflated.
And guys, no doubt George Hill had it rough last season. He missed the first 28 games with that left knee injury, came back for 5, then missed another 11 games before his season got going. But you know what? He had one of his most productive years from that point on.
Green dishes to Curry. With some arc. He lays it in. Curry's got his second basket of the night.
Uh-oh, a little showboat. At the end of that one.
And George kicks to Freak. The dish to Hill. Curry with the steal. And it's the Warriors on the break. Some nice passing by Golden State here. And he misses the go-ahead basket.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
And it's George missing.
Hey, they got the shot they wanted off of that pick, but it just doesn't fall.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but you'll take that shot every single time, Greg. That's good offense.
Over in the corner, Green. They get it back. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two. And despite some of the injuries over the years, Andrew Bogut still one of the game's best shot blockers, averaging well over 2.5 a game in his career. And Greg, he protects the rim like few others can. A rugged play.
And in last season, almost 3 block shots per game. And with all the offensive firepower around him, I think it really allows him to play to his strengths. That's why having a great team is about pieces of the puzzle fitting. He's a terrific piece for this group.
Plain one-hand flush. I love it.
Clark, I think he got a few more inches on his vertical by going with the spike.
Yeah, the one hand lets you get up higher.
No doubt about it. At least it looks like that from this angle.
Here's Livingston. Goes back up. Azili cannot hit. Good work defensively by Turner. Stuckey into the lane. Warriors with the rebound.
And getting back to Bogut, people forget he's a pretty good athlete. The reason he was drafted #1 overall way back when was because of his insane combination of size and movement skills. That's why he remains one of the excellent shot blockers in the league today.
Great open look there.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Hill kicks to Miles. He dishes it to Hill. There's a screen. Pick up by Hill. Here is Miles. Taking a look at the scoring numbers. Right now he averages about 9 points a game.
And when you talk about Bogut, I think the Warriors' incredible regular season inspired him. He didn't have to be the star. He just had to anchor that D. Sometimes when you give a guy a specific task to be the best at, that's when he delivers the most.
Clock at 6. Screen by Bogut. Here's Thompson. And it's Miles with the rebound. Pass to Hill. All sorts of time. Nice jump shot. Good. Hill's got 8 points.
And the lead goes right back. What a seesaw affair we've got going on.
This game's right there for the taking, but neither team can quite grab hold of it. Like a slippery bar of soap there. Somebody's got to take charge here.
And here's Freak on his experience as a one-and-done college player. Now with more and more freshmen, Clark, making the jump to the pros, we can expect to hear more stories like this, I'm sure.
Well, without question, Kevin, that's the case in the landscape that we find ourselves in. But, you know, there's something to be said for developing all 4 years in college when that's the best route for an individual player. Nowadays, I think, unfairly so.
The Warriors trailing. Curry kicks to Barnes. Green with a screen on George. Barnes passes to Green. Pulls from the top of the key. That's in. He's got 2 made now, and he's shooting 2 for 3. And so it's Indiana with it. This game coming after a loss against the Jazz.
Just looking at the stat sheet, they gave far too many free throws away in that game. Maybe it was the noise in the building or something, but they really looked rattled.
Well, Greg, I don't know if it was the biggest reason for that loss, but all of those misses from the stripe clearly had an impact on that game.
Everyone understands the importance of Paul George to the ball club. That's why taking his offensive game to the next level would be so beneficial.
Yeah, he has all the physical tools, the instincts, and obviously he has made those strides. But if he wants to become a top 5 guy, he's still got a little bit of work to do in terms of his game.
Allen's checked in for Indiana. And George drops them both.
From a man PG, Paul George, so much focus has been on extending his range, but ever since he started launching over 5 3-pointers a game, he shot under 43% from the field. Maybe time for him to balance out that shot selection. He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
Misses the 3, and he used the pump fake well there, but he couldn't capitalize. Curry attacking. No good.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
And it's Freak missing.
And guys, talking about Paul George, the continued improvement of his ball handling is key to generating more offense. That was a weakness of his coming out of college. He's worked on it, but making it a strength the way LeBron has would go a long way toward getting him to that next level.
Deflects the pass and stolen by Spates. Curry dishes to Barnes. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Barnes has got 5 points so far.
That's a shot he shouldn't be afraid to take more often.
Curry against Ellis. Dishes it to Freak. Shoots off the screen. After 2 misses to start the game, he's on the board with that shot made.
Superb playmaking from Monte Ellis. That dish was right on time.
Curry. Kicks to Green. Golden State moving the ball around. Livingston, that's good.
And you're going to take as many of those high percentage shots as you can get.
The Pacers have gone 1 of 3 to start off the second quarter. And it's Ellis penetrating. Turner against Spates. Right side George. Shot clock at 6. 20 feet out. Good. George has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Check out these handles. That's rush hour handle. Not midday, not early morning. That's rush hour handle. That nasty spin just froze the defense.
What a year for the Warriors. Clark won their division for the first time in 39 years, ran away with the very top Western Conference.
And there were a number of surprises last season, Kevin, but the Warriors were at the top of the list. I mean, I don't think anybody, including you and I, pegged them to be as good as they were.
Especially the way the finals began.
Exactly.
And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the message they were sending with that foul. Nothing easy inside.
And the Warriors won 51 games back in 2014, improved that mark by 16 wins last season. Among teams that won at least 50 games in the previous year, that 16-game improvement was an NBA record for the Warriors.
Mahimi's checked in for the Pacers. Hill comes in for Freak, and then for Golden State. Festus Ezeli, he's checked in for Spain. Teams changing it up here. And we finished one half of basketball. Warriors ahead, up by...
Well, Coach Vogel, a tough going for your guys so far tonight. What's been the biggest obstacle to pulling off your game plan?
Well, they're just a great defensive team. You know, we're not handling them.
alarms go off when I enter the building.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started.
What a night so far for Hill. He has 9 points, and he's also been picking up some nice assists here and there, too.
And Clark, that needs to continue. When he has an opportunity to get an open teammate the ball, he has got to make that a priority.
And on the floor for Steve Kerr as we get into the second half. It's the Splash Brothers, Curry and Thompson at the guard spots. Green at the 4 with Bogut at the 5. And it's Iguodala in at the small forward. Warriors leading by 9. And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, Kev, Freak in the last matchup against the Jazz put together a nice one. He finished with 8 points and played some lockdown defense as well, causing havoc on both ends of the floor. It was a great
Indiana making some changes. Turner comes in for Mahinmi. And Freak subbed in for Monte Ellis. The Warriors also with a sub. Spates checked in for Andrew Bogut. Hill passes to Allen. Now Freak. Shot clock at 6. Kicks it to George. Puts it up from 15. Excellent D here by Iguodala.
Yeah, good tough D there to get a hand up and force that miss.
That's example number 1 of why he is such a strong defensive player and why he has such a great defensive reputation.
Last season, Draymond Green taking over the starting power forward role in Golden State. Last season, David Lee was injured, remember, in preseason. Green was inserted, and he's been terrific ever since.
Absolutely superb. A former second-round pick, his emergence has fueled this team's rise to greatness.
Pass to Freak from deep. Indiana again missing. Warriors leading by 10. Curry kicks to Thompson. On the wing, Green. And the Warriors miss again.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
It's stolen by Green. And now running it up the court. Green pushing it all the way.
It's been a nice game for Green. 9 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
You know what, though, Clark? It wouldn't be a bad idea going forward to try to let him do a little more damage.
The only color.
Mr. Dom Pagnotti. Mr. Diamond and Platinum himself. It's a love-hate relationship.
What do you think about people who see your brother as just a meal ticket?
Well, that's why I'm there. I'm the gatekeeper. Yep. I can smell it from a mile away.
When